is Vivianne Lounsbury. This is her third speech in the Confident Communicator workbook, and it's always a lot of fun to watch you and listen to you. You're very animated. That's a lot of fun. So if everybody could welcome Vivianne Lounsbury for her third speech.
Thank you and good evening. He looked at me and he said, "This is probably the hardest thing I'm ever going to tell you." Elizabeth Kubler-Ross once said, "It's not a mistake, and there are no such things as happenstance. Everything, all things that occur are a blessing for you to learn from." My uncle and my mom had their first daughters and their only daughters on the same year, the same month, and we were only separated by a few days. My cousin's birthday was the 4th of July. My birthday is the 17th of July, and I am not going to tell you what year. And we were raised almost like twins. I had a grandmother who was an incredible seamstress, and we had matchy-matchy outfits. In fact, one of my favorite was this fabulous orange doohickey, and we had matching purses that had fringe. I'm sure a lot of you remember those. And these fabulous white patent leather boots that were laced up the leg there. Oh my word, how we love those outfits. And there are so many pictures in the family album with these very fancy outfits. We had all of our birthdays together from the time we were very young. And we absolutely adored each other. Every time we had a family get-together, which was typically every weekend. I am what you would consider a typical Latino young lady, so what we did is we got together on weekends, and the way we were introduced into a room was that royalty was coming in. We were the family's princesses. Imagine my uncle's only little girl and my mom and dad's baby girl, the girls that they both always wanted. So royalty we were. Family get-togethers, we would dance and we would perform for everyone. And as we entered teenagehood, she had perfect complexion, and I had to deal with the occasional zit. She had the perfect nose. She actually inherited that from my mother. I inherited my father's. But I was able to grow my hair long, and she had very, very curly, tight hair, but she always wore it really cute and fashionably short. When I was 15 years old and a sophomore in high school, I was super active in my church youth group. And this one particular evening, we were going to have this bang-up social. I, of course, had asked my parents' permission. It was going to take place at the Bonaventure Hotel in downtown LA. And we were all so excited to go. We were going to sit down, and we were going to have dinner. We were going to act like we were all that. And I was super thrilled. When I was at my friend's house before the event occurred, my father had called and had let my friend know that I needed to come home, and I needed to come home immediately. I don't know if very many of you have traveled to Southern California, but anywhere you go, it takes a half an hour. So I'm sitting in the car, and I'm already planning in my head how I'm going to have this argument with my father, that I'm going to be extremely respectful and very mature, but I am going to list all the reasons why I need to be at this social. And the car drives up, and I happen to notice that my brother, who is a college student, is home. Didn't think a whole lot about it. I just noticed it. Because I was thinking about the argument I was going to have with my dad, respectfully, of course. And as I walked in, I noticed that my brother had made a beeline for the backyard. I thought, And I looked at Dad, and my dad was very, very, very serious. And he told me to sit down, and I did. And he said, I am going to tell you something that's going to be the hardest thing I'm ever going to say to you. Immediately, I thought that I had lost my grandmother, who I adored, and I had just seen that Friday. So I'm already thinking in my head, how could this be possible? I just saw her. And my dad said, Jeanette has passed, and we have to head over there right away. Jeanette had passed. She was just a few days older than me. I was 15. And I looked for my brother, who at that point walked into the room. And he had confirmed that she had passed. We had gone into my room. I had to grab some things. I remember sitting in my dad's car, and Daddy had to get fuel. And I remember looking out the window thinking, people are still walking, and the cars are still moving, and the light is still changing red, yellow, and green. Doesn't everybody know that I have suffered a great loss? And it was very shocking for me. So I went ahead and was able to live through the viewing and then the service. And then my family expected me to go back to school. Business as usual, right? Absolutely not. All of a sudden, those teenage kids look so frivolous to me. I had gone to school with many of them since kindergarten. I had been one of those students that had perfect attendance. However, I was gone for a week and no one asked me why. And I remember thinking that my family loved me more than any of these people that I had tried for so many years to impress. My ability and my awareness of what was real came shockingly to me at the age of 15. What a gift. At the time, I didn't think it was, but looking back now, what a gift. Nothing happens by coincidence or mistake. All events happen for the benefit of you to learn. Thank you.